back to the Metro on 1019 WDET. I'm Kerry Jr. II. Inflation is cooling down, but Americans still feel squeezed by high prices. The tariffs imposed earlier this year are starting to raise prices on some goods, and this could have a noticeable impact on many Michigan residents who are just trying to make ends meet. According to a recently released Alice report, 41% of Michigan households are living below the poverty line or cannot afford the basic costs of living in the county. So how do people make the most out of the money they do have? It starts with healthy money habits. And one local program is teaching Detroit's youth some of the basics. The Detroit Peer Money Mentors is a youth-led financial education program, and its participants come from the Grow Detroit's Young Talent program. So first, a financial professional teaches a group of 18 to 24-year-olds money management skills. Then those young people become mentors and go on to lead financial workshops for their peers. Khadija Mutakabbir trains the mentors. She's a licensed financial literacy counselor and an experienced loan advisor. I spoke with her about her background working in banks and how that shaped her mission to educate others about the importance of managing your money. When did you first recognize that not just money, but managing money in your finances is an important thing to do?
I think I first recognized that after I graduated college.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, after you graduate college and everything is, not so simple anymore, you got to start doing the adulting thing on your own is when I kind of recognized the importance of money management.
That makes sense. It's later than I thought you were going to say.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say somewhere in your teens.
No, I mean, I had a job in my teens, but
Okay.
I was just like, I was always taught like you got to work to get the things that you want. So I was like, all right, got my job at Mr. Allen's. Let me go to Northland, buy a pair of Coach shoes, and that was it.
Yeah, you just like money in, money out.
Exactly. It wasn't no managing at all.
Did you notice folks around you, maybe outside of your family, and how they may have managed money? Are there any kind of memories you have of what that looked like and how they, I can say, what toll it took on them?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Yeah, actually, I did. My parents, they worked at Ford, like a lot of people's parents in this area. They worked at Ford for a long time, so they always had that job stability. And, the people around me, like the neighborhood kids or things like that, going to visit their houses and stuff, it wasn't in best shape like ours was. Or, I noticed that they didn't have all of their needs met, like maybe food in the house. Now looking back, I recognize that, I probably was in a better position than people around me, but I guess I didn't really understand why. I just knew my parents had a good job at Ford. That's all I knew. When I first went to college, when I went to Michigan State, I remember one girl in particular, I had Spanish with her, and she was like, I was telling her like I was getting behind on some of my assignments because I had to work every Saturday and Sunday. And she was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you got to go to work." And I was like, "I can't believe you don't work." Like, so
Right, right.
I was totally shocked. And, she was a sorority girl. So she lived in a sorority house and she talked about how they had a nanny and people to clean up the house and cook meals for them. And I was like, oh, wow. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's when I recognized, like, oh, wait, the whole time I thought I was middle class. No, you were working class.
Right.
I saw what middle class actually meant when I got to Michigan State. And I'm like, oh, wow, these people, their parents, they ain't doing Ford. They doing doctors and lawyers and professors. This is a different level of what I thought.
When you said you first learned money management, what did that mean for you? Because as you said, it's not just spending money, it became something more.
I think when I got my first job at the credit union after college is when it kind of hit me.
So how did that happen? Tell me about it.
I mean, really, I just wanted a job where I could sit down.
That's fair.
And I'm like, well, at least the credit union, it wasn't related to my school major, but at least it was like life skills that I could use later in life. So I applied there. I got the job. And luckily, a job came available in the contact center. So, like over the phone, doing transactions like checking deposits and transfers and that type of thing. And that's kind of where I started to learn money management and to see how different people did different strategies with their money.
So you were working with folks who were managing their money, and that was just like, oh, this is how it happens.
Correct. Exactly. I learned from other people.
At least it wasn't, you didn't learn the hard way. You didn't learn the hard way. You
Right.
didn't go like, uh-oh, I took out a major, well, I guess student
Exactly.
loans is always one. I don't know if you have any, but that's always
Yes.
a big one for a lot of people.
Exactly. Yep.
What communities were you serving at that time, and what kind of money habits did you witness?
Yeah, that's a good question. So the credit union was in Lansing. So it served the greater Lansing area, so like Ingham County. And it was just kind of a full range of people, but more so the people that I served was kind of like lower income.
And what were their habits?
Overdrafts and accounts, the $30 fees, calling, hey, can I get this reversed? Late payments on loans. Hey, I need to contact the resolution team because I need to talk about my late car loan or my bankruptcy or, those type of things. So that was kind of the money habits, not really good ones, I would sum it up to say.
How did you become a financial counselor?
I came down to the Metro Detroit area and started working at a local credit union around here doing loan applications. At that time, I was able to transition my skills from money management and saving and just regular account stuff to focusing more so on loans and understanding credit and why people are denied and approved for loans and collateral and that type of thing. And from that point, I just kind of, again, different demographics. So now we're in Oakland County. So now the money in Oakland County is way different than in Ingham County. So people are making more money, but still not really understanding how to manage their money, not really understanding how credit works. And so from that point, I understood like, okay, these people are getting approved for loans, but why are some people still not getting approved? And so I would a lot of time feel bad when I would have to call these people and tell them they weren't approved. And, sometime it would be just, stuff like, oh, well, I just want a new car. But sometime it would be more serious, like, okay, I need a new roof on my house, or I need a new well for my house, or I need a new septum pump. And I mean, that made me feel bad because I'm like, no, first of all, don't nobody want to be told no, but especially if you're in a certain financial predicament or an emergency situation. Sometimes I could see these people in myself, like as far as, sometimes these were black people and it's just like they're young or they're college students. And I'm just like, dang, I remember what it was like when I needed my first car. I didn't have to go get a loan, but you don't have the same setup that I have. You didn't have a mama to go buy a car for you and you didn't have to even worry about a loan. So looking and seeing that people that weren't getting approved, I kind of took the angle of, okay, well, how can we help them get approved? And so that's kind of why I became a financial counselor, because I'm just like, well, these people aren't getting approved and we tell them why, but then it doesn't really help them fix the issue. So then they just kind of get, pushed off in the sunset and then they never come back, or they come back 30 days later and their credit is still messed up. So that's kind of why I took that angle.
You're listening to The Metro on 1019 WDET. I'm Kerry Jr. the second. I'm speaking with Khadija Mutakabbir about the importance of learning money management early. She's a financial counselor and she is working with a program in Detroit that provides workshops on the subject for young people. You're listening to The Metro on 1019 WDET. I'm Kerry Jr. the second. I'm speaking with Khadija Mutakabbir about the importance of learning money management early. She's a financial counselor and she's working with a program in Detroit that provides workshops on the subject for young people. So, what would you say, though, kind of broadly, when you speak or work with folks in your experience, has been like their baseline knowledge in money management?
Most people, that's a good question. I think the baseline knowledge for most people is that, most people know that you have to have a job, and, the easiest way to get paid from your job is direct deposit. And you can get direct deposit through like a bank or a credit union. So you got to have a checking account or a savings account. Most people know that access your checking account with a debit card. Most people know that, credit cards are something that are there, but a lot of time they would have negative connotations of credit cards and would kind of be afraid of them. People would think that you build credit by getting personal loans or, getting car loans.
What are some of the first things you need folks to know when they're like, okay, you're coming in to get some counseling from me, and this is step one?
I think the very first thing that I like to teach people is literally the basics. Like, okay, do you have a bank account? Do you understand how to use your bank account? Because again, a lot of people don't, they know you have to have a checking and a savings account,
Hmm.
but they don't necessarily know the difference between an overdraft fee or a insufficient funds fee. Like those are two different things. Most people don't know that you can open up a sub savings account, which means that you don't have to just have all your money in your checking or your savings. You can open up an additional savings account to manage your money better. So I start there, like super, super basic.
So, in your experience, what essential money management skills are people missing?
Organizing their money and kind of having a clear picture of, okay, where is my money at? What's coming in? What's going out? And where is just being organized, I think, is a big underrated skill when it comes to achieving financial wellness or having good money management.
In the Peer Money Mentors program, you are training 18 to 24-year-old mentors who then go on to teach other young people about money management. What are the key skills you're teaching them, and why are these skills important for them to know and for them to teach others?
Yes, yep. So for Peer Money Mentors, I basically created the curriculum around what I like to call the five pillars of financial wellness. Being able to efficiently and properly spend your money, save your money. Once you save money, you have to then invest it so it can grow. Once you learn how to invest your money, then you might want to be able to do big things like buy a house or buy a car. So then you need to understand how to borrow money, and then once you do all those things and you later in life and you maybe got a family or other things like that, you want to be able to understand how to insure or protect your money. I think it's important for this young group because I'm a person I like to be proactive. I don't want to have everybody coming to me, "Oh, can you help me fix my credit? Can you help me fix my finance?" I want to be able to teach you before it's messed up so then you can have an understanding and you can put yourself in a better position. So later down the line, if you do mess up, it's not as hard to bounce back.
What age is a good age to start learning?
As soon as you learn how to start spending money.
Yeah,
So-
that could be that could be. I have a nephew who's 8, and he was telling me this past weekend he had. He's like, I want pizza. You got pizza money?
You got
Apparently,
pizza
he's like,
money?
I do. I just gotta hit up mom. I was like, okay, so you ain't really got it then.
Exactly, because I think of like when we were younger, how you would get money from like the Tooth Fairy, or you would get money for good report cards. And I always like to make the joke of like, dang, if I would have knew how much stuff costs as an adult, I would have saved all my report card money and I probably would have been rich by now.
Right.
But so I think as soon as you are in a position to start giving children money and they're able to spend it, like I know the popular things like Roblox, kids always need Robux or whatever
Bruh.
this stuff is. Yeah. Soon
Yes.
as you need some of that, you need to learn how it works because when they're 20 or maybe 15 or 16, they're not like, okay, well, mom, I need a Mercedes, or, well, you gave me Roblox and you never said no. So now why is it no now? So,
Right. Right.
I think it's kind of like a early conversation that you can introduce and then kind of just build on as they get older.
What's it like when people realize the value of the money management skills you give them?
Yeah, so like for instance, okay, so I remember this was when I was freshly, doing my one-on-one services with people. And I remember, I would take the approach of, okay, go through your last 30 days of transactions and write down everything that you spend money on. Like write down everything that you spend money on.
Ouch.
Yeah, and I remember I worked with one girl. We went to high school together. I worked with her, and she was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe." She's like, "I can't believe I spent this much money on food, or I can't believe I spent this much money on going out to eat, or this." And I was like, "Yep." I'm like, "That's a harsh reality." And she wanted to know how to save more, how to save money, not live paycheck to paycheck. Like she made pretty decent money. She had a kid, but she like, "Okay, well, I'm just feel like I'm spending all of my money." And I'm like, "Okay, well, girl, you done spent $1,000 in the last 30 days on food." And she
Mhm.
like, "I didn't even realize," so I think that's like a recurring theme when I work with people individually. And a lot of time they're like, "I didn't even realize I spent that much money on this or that." And, just that awakening of, oh wow, I do got the money. Because a lot of time we say, "Oh, well, I don't have it. I don't have it. I don't have it." You got it. It's just about, okay, where is it actually going? It feels good when you have those, like when you help people and that aha moment of, oh, I never knew I could do this, or it's not that you couldn't do it, you just needed a little direction or you needed a little guidance on how to get there.
Khadija Mutakabbir is a licensed financial literary counselor and an experienced loan advisor. She trains mentors for the Detroit Peer Money Mentors program. That program will be having a community Zoom meeting available for all who want to join this Thursday, July 24th from 6 to 8 p.m. You can find more information and join the meeting at DetroitPeerMoneyMentors.org.com. That's DetroitPeerMoneyMentors.org.com. Before we wrap up the show today, we wanted to reemphasize how important it is in this moment to donate to WDET, to go to our website, wdet.org/save, because of the recent CPB cuts. Joining me in the studio right now is a senior producer for the Metro, David Lyons.
Hey, Gary.
How you doing, Dave? We really want folks to show up.
Yeah, we do. I mean, when the funding was cut for public media, that's permanent. That's forever. You know, it's gone for all public radio, all public television. That hurt. That hurt to see that. That was frustrating. I know our listeners are frustrated, and sometimes it feels bad when you can't do anything about frustration, but there is something you can do. You can go to wdet.org/give. You can become a member of WDET. We have a drive for 1,000 members. We need to make ourselves strong for the future, so we need to increase our membership rolls. The reason that helps us down the long run is because sustaining members are something we can bank on. We can count on them month after month, year after year. It allows us to budget years in advance. It allows us to know that we're going to be financially strong and stable for the years to come, and we need to be even more community funded than we ever have been because we have no more federal funding. That's it. So go to wdet.org/give and become a member today.
We want 1,000 additional folks to join WDET. So maybe you were a member in years past and maybe your credit card changed. And so you're no longer paying that recurring membership, but you think you do. Just double check it for us. Make sure that you're still a member at WDET and update that payment information. Any amount matters. Anything you can give matters. We just want 1,000 additional members to join us at WDET. Shows like the Metro exist because we listen to your input and we want to support the programming you desire. And that's what we did. 2 years ago, we had our listener survey. We said, okay, we want a show that's talking to local communities that are entrenched in the issues and that matter. Organizations that are made up of neighbors and relatives who are from the Metro Detroit area. And so we've brought that to you in our news, in our music, and in culture conversations. And so we work hard behind the scenes to make that stuff happen. And now we want to have you all join us to continue that support, to continue the type of programming that we've been offering here on the Metro and the music shows we've had all on WDET. So as Dave Lyons said, and as we will continue to say, go ahead and go to wdet.org/save. This is a very important moment. Any last words, Dave, for our listeners before we wrap up?
Yeah, now really is the time. WDET took a bet that our listeners were going to support a show like the Metro. Well, we've been here for 2 years now, and we have been the most expensive program singly that WDET has. So we need that level of support from our members. Go to wdet.org/give, make the gift, and make it a sustaining one. And if you're someone whose membership has lapsed, which means your credit card changed and you never updated it, update that credit card, become a member again. We need 1,000 more members to make ourselves strong for the future. So it's wdet.org/give.
All right, folks, that's going to do it for the Metro today. The Metro is hosted by Robin Vincent, Tia Graham, and myself. It's produced by Sam Corey, David Lyons, and Jack Philbrandt. Our engineer is Nate Bender. Our music is by Sam Bobian. Thank you for listening today. Check us out online and on your podcast apps as well. This is WDET-FM, Detroit Public Radio, your connection to news, music, and conversation.